Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. All right. Hold on. All right. I hope you guys can hear me. All right. We are here. Welcome to Barian Web. I'm your host, Valley Chikoni. We begin. Lady Candace. Okay. So every time we'll be like, okay, you know what? We're just gonna keep it moving. Forget Candy, right? But she's here, okay? Because Candice is Candice. So let's just get right into it. So if you're not aware, Candice has put out a challenge against TPUSA. So now TPUSA has responded to Candace, but now she's backpedaling. So we have all that for you guys, and then let's just dive into it. I'll be stopping it along the way, okay? But I'm so glad that you guys are here. So this is Candace, okay? Watch this real quick.
His entire life. I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. Realizing that nothing in Charlie's life was real. It's just something that keeps me up at night. Just nothing in his life was real. Charlie Kirk, that's what I say. Was anything in his life real? Nothing in Charlie Kirk's life was real. I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. Realizing that nothing in Charlie's life was real. It's just something that keeps me up at night. Just nothing.
Okay, so here you have Lady Candace with her accusations that she's been running over this accusation for quite some time. She keeps saying that she doesn't believe anything in Charlie Kirk's life was real. So the question is, so what, the marriage was fake, the children are not real, the TPUSA, like what does she mean by insinuating that nothing in Charlie Kirk's life was real? But this is Candace. What more can we say, right? So I did appreciate somebody had put together all the things that she has said, right, up to this point where she's denying everything. So shout out to this gentleman for putting this clip together. I think it's Bronson, that's his name. So subscribe to his channel. He did a good job on this clip right here. So let's watch to hear what he had to say. Okay, here we go, guys. All right. All right, let's listen in.
Kirk around the country, and that Turning Point has lied about this happening.
Definitely never said Turning Point lied because you never responded.
First lie.
Another possibility is that a military jet, particularly one from a foreign country, would likely be equipped with encrypted satellite-based communications capabilities. If you wanted to make an untraceable phone call, as an example, that would be a good place to do so because only the NSA would be able to intercept that call. And it's pretty obvious that the deep state doesn't seem particularly interested in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So that'd be a safe place to communicate on that plane. Like I said, these are our options. What we can do now, however, is we can add this to our list of verifiable Turning Point USA lies because I'm going to count this as a lie by severe omission.
Let's go ahead and play that back, shall we?
On the country, and that Turning Point has lied about this happening.
Definitely never said Turning Point lied because you never responded. What we can do now, however, is we can add this to our list of verifiable Turning Point USA lies because I'm going to count this as a lie by severe omission.
Lie number one. Let's keep going.
She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting Erica to take over for him if he died.
Never happened. Then they were going to tell Americans, as Pastor Rob McCoy did, that it just so happened that Charlie Kirk kept notebooks and diaries. He was so diligent that he wrote down his succession plan featuring who he wanted to take over for the organization in the event of his untimely death. Like, you know, in the third notebook, he was like, oh, and if I accidentally get shot on campus, here's what you should do. Call Erica. And then after you call Erica, come find this notebook. And in this notebook, you'll see that I am using adjectives like fantastic and heroic to describe Mikey McCoy. And if during this process of our imagination, common sense comes on and we're like, oh, but wait, Charlie, wasn't he like a boy genius? He's a pretty bright kid. Wouldn't he have maybe formalized that succession plan outside of like a diary? Maybe call one of his many lawyers, maybe formalize it in a will, because that's what you're supposed to do. If you are thinking about dying and you need to make a plan, you make a will. I'm sure he had a will, but no, he wanted to put it in these notebooks. And then the plan was to guilt us, I think, to try to haunt us with the ghost of Charlie's notebooks that we're never going to be allowed to read, but we're supposed to accept that they most definitely read, like for sure. That's what it feels like. Do you agree? I think their thought process was it will be much easier for us to control the spirit of Charlie Kirk than the actual living, breathing Charlie Kirk. That's the vibe that I'm starting to get as I keep discovering all of these strange anomalies.
All of his wildest dreams for this organization and more. He left me a blueprint in all of his journals, but more so than that, I was his vault for literally everything. He shared everything with me, his vision, his dreams, and I know now more than ever, I mean, he was always a hard worker, but now more than ever, he's up in heaven orchestrating and sitting and strategizing, and I can just feel it. I can feel it.
Sure sounds like she's calling them a liar.
She has suggested Charlie's security team intentionally denied him first aid after the shooting to ensure that he died.
When you say suggested, it means that they are interpreting my words. What I said is another fact. They did not issue him first aid. When he fell down, there was nobody who pulled out any gauze and tried to stop the bleeding. And they've admitted to that. In a sit down with Sean Ryan, Brian Harpole said it was because of the severity of the injury.
Is that what Brian Harpole said?
And so I initially dove down on top of him and just was on him almost face to face. And then when I was doing that, I went down, I could see the wound. And so I immediately shoved my hand into the wound to stop the bleeding, just trying to find the pressure. And it was coming out still. And I'm on top of him, like close. And it was still coming out enough that it squirted through my fingers and I could taste it on my lips. And so I was like, man, this is a bad wound, right? And so I was just pushing that. And I don't know at that time. I know when you look at the clock, I was on him within 5 seconds and had my hands in him. And then I don't know when I put the first piece of medical on him. It was sometime after that. Because I carry it right here. And that's why you carry it on you. You got to have it there. So, but then I remember pulling back away and thinking, damn, this is bad. Like it's coming out. And I don't remember saying this, but the guys told me, and you can kind of see it on the video. I said, prep the car. And I just prepped, and you see the two guys just take off. And that car's prepped in position, but what I mean, doors are open, yeah. I mean, the whole deal.
Not sure. Did you guys hear him say that they didn't render aid to Charlie immediately? Sure sounds like what he's describing is them rendering aid to Charlie immediately.
She has raised suspicions about the head of our technical team because he took an SD card out of a camera. She has spread absurd claims that Tyler Boyer, who we just had on the show, sexually abuses male interns.
Okay, so yes, the SD card thing is unbelievably suspicious. It's not something that you would do. Neither would you just run up onto a grassy knoll and record yourself. Again,
I'm wondering why.
So this is Candace Owens. Can you imagine? These are the things that she has said, and the truth is just out there. And all these other stuff have been debunked, but she has never walked any of this back. She keeps harping on this issue. The SD card was given to the authorities. The FBI have access to the SD card. She wanted access to this information. She wanted the SD card. And she actually requested this, and the guy refused to give it to her because they gave it to the FBI, right? Because Candace is the one who is doing this investigation. So now, because you refused to give her that SDA card, now you are the problem. You see what I'm saying? So I'm just like, Candace, like if she says something that actually makes sense, something that's actually real, I don't think anybody will be, you see it for what it is, right? But she has said all these things, and now she's been given an opportunity to go and face turning point face to face. The very people that she's been accusing, now all of a sudden she's changing her tune. I was just like, okay, you know what, lady, either put up or shut up. That's what Nick Fuentes said. So even if Nick Fuentes is saying the correct things on these things, guys, there's so much trouble out there. Okay, so that has been Lady Candy. Okay, so I did like this gentleman. What's his name? Bronson. Just this is what Candy said, and this is what has happened, right? Just juxtaposing the things that she has said. So I thought, that was well done. Okay, let's watch a little bit, and then we can share the other clips. Okay, here we go.
Is dead. Maybe you should answer why.
That is such a silly thing to prematurely announce that somebody has been unalived. I've said this before in other videos. I guarantee you 90% of the people that saw that close-up video of Charlie knew right then and there that he had been unalived. So he didn't prematurely announce anything. He had a reaction, and it was the same reaction that I'm willing to bet at least 90% of the people who saw that video had. And he saw it up close and personal.
All of that took place because you guys told verifiable lies about why that took place. Because don't forget, Andrew Colvett sat next to you and said it was because people were stealing. People were stealing. You probably would want to grab the very expensive cameras and not the SD card.
So obviously, let's not forget, Candace wasn't there that day, right? So even if they had grabbed cameras, you know what she would have been saying? Oh, why were you busy grabbing the cameras? You know what I mean? So it's not like whatever else they would have done that day, she would have still find a reason to bring certain accusations. Okay, they grabbed the cameras. Okay, they grabbed the SD card. Does that prove that they deleted Charlie Kirk? No, it doesn't. But this is the thing that she has been insinuating. So now, Turning Point USA is demanding, like, okay, Candy, you said you want to have the conversation with us. We are ready. Let's do it. And now, all of a sudden, she is not available. I was just like, Candace, go home. Candace, go home. So watch this, okay? This is how things went down. Here we go, guys. Take a look.
All right, you guys, it's happening. It's happening. Everybody stay calm. After yesterday's episode where we went kind of for the jugular with Turning Point USA, because really I think everybody in the entire world has had enough with the non-response, trying to move on, trying to gaslight us, not answering basic details. So we just went for it. And guess what? Turning Point has moved to formally respond to all the things that we have said. And after a very long diatribe in which they wildly misrepresent the public and global investigation of Charlie Kirk's assassination, they at long last issued a public invitation or a challenge. I'm not sure what it is, but I accept. Okay? Quite literally, all we have ever asked for were sensible answers to our basic questions about what transpired on September 10th. And it looks like we're going to get those things. So major win. I am excited. Also, later on in the show, what I have for you is The Game, whose rapper is releasing a song.
So that's Candace, right? She cannot wait. She's excited that she has been invited to participate, to debate, I guess, with Turning Point USA. And, she could not wait to have this conversation, right? That's what she is saying. Well, this is the same Lady Candace. I was just like, Candace, please, what are you doing? So now she's playing games. Take a look what she had to say. Okay, here we go.
All right, you guys, happy Thursday. Fun little update for you. When the clock struck midnight last night and Cinderella's carriage turned back into a pumpkin, Turning Point USA decided it was a good time to issue a confirmation plus an ultimatum, a time and a date for our debate. I should tell you that they did not send me an email. They did not send me a text message. They did not coordinate anything with me. They simply made this midnight announcement and gave it a countdown, 24 hours to respond. So we're going to discuss that. And let me just tell you, Turning Point is so done after this. You just cannot survive being this disingenuous. We also are going to get back into the Egyptian plane.
So I think she did not think that Turning Point was going to take her up on her offer. Okay? She thought she's been doing this since September and they never responded. So this time around, they decided to respond and now she's walking back. She's giving all these excuses that one can give, that all of a sudden that day, it's not going to work for her. Like, well, Candace, what do you mean that day is not going to work for her? You've been demanding that you want to have this conversation. So now they've taken you up on the offer that you should have this discussion. All of a sudden, this lady, she's not available. And her fans, her minions, are actually backing her. Like, oh, no, they're inviting her because they want to delete Candace Owens. I was just like, you know what? You need to go home, okay? Candace needs to go home. So take a look at this, Shout out to Milk Bar, all these guys who put this stuff together because, it's insane, okay? Watch this.
Available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court.
So I accept it with whistles and bells, everything. I fully accept. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. At 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15th from Charlie's Phoenix studio, our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, you can pick the place. You can pick the time. Obviously, leading up to Christmas, that's the last week of our show. Obviously, it's a pretty busy week. You can pick the place, you can pick the time, but no, they need to have it in person in Phoenix on December 15th or they cannot have me at all.
If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court.
So I accept it with whistles and bells, everything. I fully accept. You can pick the place, you can pick the time. At 4 p.m. Eastern.
So do you get the point? She said anywhere, anytime. They can pick the place and they can pick the time. She has accepted. She wants to do this debate. So Turning Point, pick the place, pick the time. And now she says it's a busy time. That's not what she said. That's not what she said. She lives in Nashville, okay? And that's what? That's Arizona. She's been at this for ages, guys, okay? Since September. If she is serious, why couldn't she make the trip? Why couldn't she make the trip? So Candy doesn't want to make the trip because she knows if she goes to the studios, it's not going to go well with her. Because every time she does the show, I know it produces over there that she's live. Her show is not live, okay? It's they produce it as if it's live, but it's not live, okay? They edit it and all that type of stuff. And she has a producer, Skylar, in her ear doing all those. There's nothing wrong having a producer, but she knows if you've seen the interview that she did on CNN, the producer wasn't in her ear, and she looked like, girl, she didn't even know what she was talking about, okay? Because she was out of her element. So she is not going to repeat that again because she knows it didn't go well with her when she was at CNN. So now, walking into the Lion's Den, the things that she has accused these people of, she needs to be producing receipts. You said this person did this person did this. Where is your evidence? Up to now, she hasn't produced evidence. So she wants to do this in her studio where she has the comfort. You know what I mean? It's online. If somebody says something, you know how it is. Like her producers will be in her ear and she'll be able to get away with it. So that's how you know that she's not serious. If she meant it, she could have showed up at Turning Point Studios. It's not an issue. Between now and December 15th, she can make that accommodation. Because remember, she wants to find out who did this to Charlie. And she has accused the people at Turning Point USA. Wouldn't this be a good opportunity for her to go there and look these people in their eyes that you guys deleted my friend, my best friend? That's not what she did. Okay? So it's just like, you know what, Candace, you need to go home. Okay? So yes, at this point, everybody's coming after. But believe you me, her followers are still on her side. She has successfully, if you ask me, she has damaged the Turning Point USA brand. It's actually working. Oh yes, she is. She's absolutely she is. Yeah, according to her, nothing in Charlie Kirk's life was real. So that includes her marriage. Her marriage wasn't real. That's Candace. But when you say that, she'll be like, that's not what I said. I just said nothing in his life was real. I never said that his marriage wasn't real. Because she always, say something like that. That way you can never pin her with anything. So that's how you get Lady Candace and her behavior. Okay? So this is what Blake Neff had posted out because people were coming after him, asking him like, okay, is this how you invite somebody to to a debate? Okay? So this is, let me do this. What about this? Okay. So this is Blake Neff. I don't know what his position is at Turning Point USA. So somebody put the Midnight Post was not an invitation to a debate. It was another sycophantic TPUSA power game being executed by Bro Squad. Blake Neff even says this is not going to be a discussion or debate. It will be an in-person reprimanding. So that's the Candace Owens people. Okay? Like, wait a minute. What's a big deal? It doesn't matter when the tweet was sent out. The function is on the 15th. She can still show up. So Blake responded, of course, it's not how you book a guest. We are not booking a guest and never said we were. We are delivering a response to several months of escalating harassment and lies. She was given the opportunity to join and declined. So those have supporters coming after TPUSA. Oh, why are you inviting her over Twitter? Is this how you invite a guest? I'm just like, guys, come on, man. It doesn't matter. The issue is they have accepted her demands that she's been putting out for almost 3 months. She just needs to show up. And if this lady doesn't want to show up, then she needs to shut up. Simple. But is that what she's going to do? No. She's not going to do that. She's absolutely not going to do that. So I was just like, you know what? This crazy lady at this point. This crazy lady at this point. Okay, so let's watch a little bit more from what she's been saying. Okay. And oh, this is even what she tweeted out. Let's see. We should be able to see this tweet right here. Okay. So this is Candy right here. Okay. Well, also that I'm happy to jump on Charlie's show any day before the virtual as well. I was serious when I said we could do it today even. Virtually, I can make it happen pretty much any day because it's easier to move things around with the kids and find someone to sub for my morning homeschooling. Guys, who is buying this? Who is out here buying this nonsense? When she was sending all these demands, okay, she was sending all these demands. She never said that she has issues with her children or somebody else. It's just one day. She can go there, do the debate, and come back home. So I was just like, you know what, Candy, you need to go home. Nobody is buying this nonsense. But, you know, I'm afraid that there's a whole bunch of people who are buying it. Okay? So this is her again. Okay? Let's watch this clip. Here we go, guys.
I expected that Turning Point would reach out to me via text, via email, that they would instantly follow up with their long diatribe and be sincere and say, okay, here are some dates and some times. When would you like to make this happen? We're going to set up this great debate. Rather, instead of hearing anything from Turning Point, I heard from Skylar, my executive producer, this morning via text, which I'm going to show you, that I was somehow already 9 hours into a 24-hour countdown that was issued by Turning Point USA. Here is that text exchange with Skylar this morning. He 8:49 said, I'm sure you saw this. And I responded to him and I said, no, actually, I didn't see this. And I opened the tweet, which went out from Blake Neff around midnight last night. And here's what he wrote. I'm like, how am I supposed to see this? The live stream we announced on the show Wednesday has been set. That would imply to the audiences that they reached out to me and we set a time. No, he goes on. At 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15th, a collection of Charlie's friends will respond to statements made by Candace Owens to set the record straight once and for all prior to the opening of America Fest. Now, if it's going to be once and for all, it sounds pretty final. I mean, I would assume that I would have to contribute so that I could answer back, right? He goes on to write, we'll be live streaming, as he said from the beginning. This is going to be a live streamed event from Charlie's Phoenix studio. Our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, she is welcome to do so. She can let us know by the end of today. Why? Well, I'm sorry. If you're saying this is happening on the 15th, why am I getting 24 hours to be able to respond to you? That doesn't make any sense. That, for some reason, feels like this is a BS offer and a really cheap PR move. There's no...
This is how she manipulates, okay? There's no need for... Candace had already asked these guys, right? I want to talk to you guys anywhere, anytime. So Candace was already open. So there was no point for this guy to be like, oh, let's work out a schedule. It wasn't necessary. This guy has just responded, okay, Candace, we are a go. All Candace had to say would be like, okay, sure thing. That's it. Lock it in. There was no need for these people to check in with Candace because Candace already made it public, on a public record, by the way, anywhere, anytime. And she was happy to do it. And that's what she said. So these guys agreed, like, okay, let's do it. Okay, we've picked the date, we've picked the time. You need to show up. All of a sudden, she's just finding out right now that she has kids. She needs to homeschool. That's not what she said when she was saying anytime, anywhere, any place. And, to be quite honest, who is buying that? It's just one day, okay? It's just one day. Between now and the 15th, couldn't she find somebody else to substitute to homeschool her kids? Huh? That are ages 4 on down. I think from 1 year old to 4 years old. Lady, oh man, but half people are drinking this Kool-Aid, guys. Okay, it's crazy.
No reason to issue a 24-hour response and to put this up in the middle of the night, A. B, there's no reason you didn't reach out to me and say, hey, does this work? Can I check some flights, see if I can get in there? Nope. This is it. They put this up there on the 15th. The last week of our show is live. Obviously, leading up to Christmas, that's the last week of our show. Obviously, it's a pretty busy week. So I'm like, okay, caught off guard by this, but you know what? I sense this is a PR move. So let me say, you've already said it's live streamed. If an event is live streamed, of course, we can make it work any place. I mean, at any time, any day, we can make this happen, right? Because
you see how she corrected herself? Of course, we can make it to work anytime, any place, and then she switched it. No, lady, you need to show up in Phoenix or you need to zip it. Simple.
Live reason I can't show up electronically, okay? I respond to him and I say this. Kind of weird how you didn't email or call me to ask about times or availability and instead chose to tweet this confirmation out at midnight. Why am I learning about this on X? December 15th does not work in person. And 2 p.m. happens to also be the literal time that I do my podcast live every day, which you knew. But we will happily cancel the daily podcast and we'll join you guys virtually instead for the live stream on the 15th. If that works on your end, let's lock it in, ?
No, that you're the one who needs to lock it in. They have already given to you. And you know what? Even if you grant, let's grant to Candace, the 15th does not work. If she was honest about this issue, should have come. You know what, guys? The 15th does not work for me. What about XYZ date? You see what I'm saying? If she was serious. So, okay, fine. The 15th, Candace is not available. She could have just said, guys, the 15th, I'm so busy, I can't make it. You know what? Let's do it on the 20th. Oh, you know what? Let's do it after Christmas. How about that? Because it's so busy, right? You know what, guys? Right now, we are in holiday season and everything. I'm serious. I want to take care of this subject. Let's just do it the first week in January. At least set up the date. Then we'll be like, you know what? Candace is willing to go to Phoenix, face these guys on this particular day. It's going to be a showdown. And that's it. So she is acting like, okay, the 15th, you're not available. When are you available, Candace? Can you tell them the date that you're available? She's not. She just said this stuff, guys. She wasn't going to do it. She's like that. She challenges people. I remember she challenged, her former boss, Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, right? Like she does say these things and then people think, oh, she's going to do it. She knows she's not going to do it. But this is how she operates. It's a tactic that she uses.
Okay, we're jumping here. Let's make it happen. Okay, that's the beauty of the internet. That is the beauty of 2025. You can literally be any place, anytime. Just send me a link, right? Any place, anytime, and we can.
Guys, if they wanted to send Lady Candace a link, whatever, that's not the point. They could do that. But this woman has put big accusations, okay? So basically, Candace Owens has accused TPUSA, Charlie's best friends, of deleting Charlie or having something to do with it. So these people they'll be in the room together. They know Candace know them face to face. So she can tell them, this is what you did, this is the evidence. Because everybody knows. When she's in a studio, there's a producer in her ear, Skylar, telling her XYZ. So they wouldn't want to do it that way. Even if it was me, I wouldn't want to do it that way. She need to be able to face them. So she said that she's busy on the 15th, by the way, right? And guess what? She also plans to stream the event. But you said you are not available on the 15th. But you're available to do the stream on the 15th. I just like, you know what? This girl, man.
Join you virtually. In fact, today on their show, they had Andrew Colvett joining them virtually. So they have the tech capability to do this. We have tech capability.
Candace, you see, she's shifting. The issue is not about tech ability, okay? Andrew Colvett is not the one who was accused TPUSA. You are the one who was accused him. And the issue has got nothing to do with technical issues, okay? The issue is about you facing the people you have accused. That's the bottom line. Hey. Man, George Farmer, at this point, I'm sorry, you need to come out here and get your wife. Lady Sandy, greetings. You'll be having a heart attack shortly, Lady Sandy. This woman is crazy. The S-Files, good to see you, my sister. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, she does homeschool her kids. She homeschools her kids, but I'm still not buying it, okay? And this is what I'm saying. If the 15th is that busy for you, no problem, Lady Candy. What day? Can you give TPUSA the day? That's all. You know what I mean? I think if she done that, everybody will be okay with it. So these are the games that this woman is playing, okay? And it's very unfortunate, but Candace, what am I doing? Look at me now. All right, we're here, guys. All right, let's listen a little bit more.
To do this, let's make this sincere and do this for people around the world who do not feel that you guys have been honest and forthcoming in terms of answers that you could obviously supply regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. Well, if we needed any more evidence that nothing that they do is genuine and that this was an obvious planned PR move, here is what Blake tweeted out just now before we went live on this show.
So if you know that this is their PR move, right? Their PR move, right? Wouldn't it make sense for Candace Owens to catch these guys red-handed by showing up at the studios on that day? You see what I'm saying? Because you know they're playing games. According to Candace, TPUSA is playing games. So in order for you to prove them wrong, why don't you show up? Show up. And, you know, we already know as far as her getting there, man is not even an issue. Okay? Man is not an issue. She gets enough super chats that they can even charter a plane for her to make it there. So it's none of those things are an excuse. But she's so manipulative that she's blaming TPUSA. They have invited you, Candace. Will you please show up? Not only that, she challenged them. Let's start with that. Candace challenged TPUSA. They accepted the challenge. So she's the one who was bluffing. Now that they've accepted the challenge, now she's chickening out. Okay?
Yesterday, we made it clear that we would be scheduling a formal response to allegations and accusations that you have made. We have decided that that response will be delivered during a live stream, as he said, a live stream, on December 15th. Thank you for your response letting us know that you will not be joining the in-person conversation. We will be proceeding without you. Why are you proceeding without me? To have a conversation that is about me. Why am I getting 24 hours to respond? Why do you need me there in person if you are trying to be sincere and answer the very many questions that I have brought up on this show? You guys weren't even sincere in what you said yesterday. You told some glaring lies about things that I have said. So we're supposed to trust that you guys are going to handle this discussion all by yourselves and respond to any and every allegation. And this isn't just some planned PR for once and for all. Like I said, this is so obvious. He is being completely destroyed in the comments because what's happening at Turning Point, and I've seen this happen before, is they now believe that they are smarter than their audience, right? They think they are smarter than their small pocket donors. They can pull such an obviously crappy public move like this and pretend, well, we tried. You know, she said she could make it work and we tried, but it has to be physically, she needs to be in person, even though we have shown that we have people join us not in person and it's live streamed and we both have the tech capabilities to do that. If she doesn't make this work within 24 hours, we can now say that it's on Candace. This is a disaster, okay? It is a dumpster fire. That's the only way to describe what is happening at Turning Point USA today and right now is a dumpster fire. Everyone can read this for what it is. As I said, they are getting destroyed in the comments. Like, really, guys? Really? You're not going to just send us a simple live stream link and let us join you? We've had people on this show live streamed. We could have them tomorrow. I said, in response, I said to them, I'll make this work. I also attached to that tweet any day leading up to the 15th. We can do this virtually any place and any time. But no, they need to have it in person in Phoenix on December 15th or they cannot have me at all.
Yes. So I do support these guys wanting to have Lady Candy in their studio. Okay? Because you cannot trust her if somebody else is in her ear. How you know that what she's saying is coming from her? That's the only reason. Okay? Not only that, okay, we actually have a precedent of such things. Okay, so I actually had, let's take a look at this, okay? Let's go to, let's take a look at the scriptures here real quick, guys, okay? So there is a story in Acts 25, okay? Paul before King Agrippa. So take this, okay? Now, when some days had passed, Agrippa the king and Bernice arrived at Caesarea and greeted Festus. And as they stayed there many days, Festus laid Paul's case before the king, saying, there is a man left prisoner by Felix. And when I was at Jerusalem, the chief priests and the elders of the Jews laid out their case against him, asking for a sentence of condemnation against him. I answered them, it was not the custom of the Romans to give up anyone before the accused met the accusers face to face and had an opportunity to make his defense concerning the charge laid against him. Okay? So there is that precedence even in the scriptures. Okay? You have the right to face your accuser. If people are just accusing, you actually have a right to face your accuser. Okay? That's why in court, they bring witnesses. And it's not just witnesses. Okay? You bring the accusation, the accused has a right to face the accuser. So in this situation, Candace accused the TPUSA. They have a right to face her face to face. And if you cannot trust what's happening behind the scenes, the producers and everything else. So if all of them are in one room, that will actually make sense. Candace was better off to say, you know what, guys, I'm willing to meet you guys face to face, but I don't trust meeting you guys in your studios. Let's meet at a neutral place. If she had said something like that, it'll be difficult to debunk her. You see what I'm saying? You'll be like, you know what? TPUSA Studios, that's your territory, okay? I'm not comfortable meeting you guys in your territory. Let's meet someplace else. Something like that. If she had come up with something like that, then you'll be like, you know what? At least she's willing to meet them. You know what I mean? That would have been a very good defense on Candace's part. You know what, guys? I'm down. The 15th works for me. But I'm not comfortable meeting you guys in your own studio. Let's meet at a neutral place. That's it. You know what I mean? It's TPUSA. They could have met whatever at a hotel lobby. You know what I mean? They could stream that. Stream that. As long as, okay, let's meet anywhere else but the TPUSA. Something like that. They could make it happen. There's venues that you can rent to do a podcast. If she had requested something like that and then TPUSA is not accommodating, then you know what? She has a ground to stand on. But this lady does not want to face these people. Even if it doesn't matter if it's TPUSA, she doesn't want to face them anywhere else. She wants to be in her studio where Skylar is telling her what to do. You see what I'm saying? Because when she's on her feet, she's rattled. Okay? You can see the interview that she did with CNN. She was just there so bizarre, no answers, no nothing. Because, the producers were not there to produce her answers on her show. So she wants stuff to be done in her studio so she's in control. So that's how I know that she's not serious. Her quest was never about truth. Because if her quest was about truth, this was the time. You can look these people in the eye and tell them, you guys deleted my best friend. And she's still not willing to do that. But she's out here telling the entire world she wants to find out who deleted Charlie Kirk. Who is buying this nonsense, guys? Who is out here buying this nonsense? Okay? And if that is not all, even Nick Fuentes was like, wait a minute. This lady, no, she needs to shush, okay? Let's watch this, a little bit of Nick Fuentes so you know things are bad. If Nick Fuentes is the voice of reason, oh boy.
It's been spreading so much malicious disinformation that it's ripping the country apart. It's creating a national emergency. She's making me actually start to drift to the left. Because for so many years, they said, disinformation, misinformation, you're a grifter pushing misinformation. And I said, they're just trying to suppress free speech. And then Candace Owens starts a YouTube channel, and it's like, I had a dream about a beekeeper and all the people in the maroon shirts and these Egyptian planes. And there's like 10 million people that are totally into this. It's like, we got a problem. We have it's actually a little scary. So anyway, she finally got what she wanted. She drove Turning Point USA to the point with her malicious disinformation. Finally, where Turning Point said they're going to do a live stream and they're going to explain themselves. They're going to justify why they didn't kill their own boss. That's how insane this has gotten. Everybody is so whipped up about this that Turning Point USA is going to host their own live stream, and all of these people who are friends with Charlie Kirk in real life, who are probably there at his wedding, at his children's baptism, or I don't know how they do it as Protestants, but his closest friends, his wife, They're going to get on a live stream and explain for all these psychos why they didn't murder their own boss with France and Israel and Egypt and the United States and people in maroon shirts and the Beekeeper Society. And so, and this is like, you got to give her credit. It's a huge win for Candace. She wanted disclosure. She wanted transparency. She's getting it. Turning Point answered her questions on a brief video, and they announced this live stream where they're going to give a formal response. Okay, you won. You did it. Even better. Turning Point says she's invited to come to the live stream. Okay. Home run. Easiest victory ever. It's free. It's free. She's been pushing them for 3 months to answer the questions, and they set her up for like, this has got to be, if it happens, the most anticipated live stream of the year. She has had the biggest show in this final quarter, millions of views on YouTube, on Spotify, on X. And if she goes to Turning Point and she puts the screws in them, she is either going to blow the lid on the whole thing, and credit where it's due, she will be the #1 journalist of the century. Or we find out, we get to the bottom of it, that Turning Point was not complicit in the murder of Charlie Kirk. And nobody could say then that we didn't do our due diligence because you got Candace there. So everybody could breathe a sigh of relief. And I think that's a victory for her too, because then she gets to say, well, I discovered the truth. But we find out today she's not going to go. I'm sure you've all seen this. Turning Point says they're going to do a live stream. They're going to answer all the questions about Charlie Kirk. They invite her to show up. She says, challenge accepted. Name the time, name the place. We don't need to plan it out. Let's just do it. They say, okay, December 15th. She goes, oh, but that's a bad day for me. I can't do it then. Can I Skype in? Can I Zoom? Bitch. We can't. What are we doing here? And I said it on Telegram. You actually just have to admire the audacity. This woman has gone in every single day for 3 months, and she has dragged everybody, and like every country, the wife, the friends, the company, the government, the FBI, Israel, France, Egypt. She's dragged everybody through this, whatever you want to call it, this investigation. It's served up to her on a silver platter. All right, uncle, we give up. We're losing to disinformation and mass hysteria. You know, the open society is failing. Mass psychosis has taken hold over the nation. Fine, we'll do a live stream. We'll justify why we didn't kill our boss, and you can ask us anything you want. Just show up. And she goes, I can't that day. Honestly, what else do you have going on? This is your job. You're a YouTuber. She acts like she's a wagey, like, oh, I got to check with my boss. This is your job. This has been your obsession and crusade for 3 months. Literally, what could you have going on? And I see some people already defending. They say, well, you'd understand if you had kids, it's Christmas time. Okay, I think you get a special dispensation. First of all, it's the 15th. People are working and going to school right up until Christmas Eve sometimes. It's 10 days before Christmas, okay? Second of all, I think her family would understand. Her whole family's dragged. I think her family would understand. Maybe we could reschedule the family Christmas party to the 17th, the 19th. Go and do what you got to do. People will defend anything, I guess. But then it gets better. She says, well, I'm not going to go to Phoenix in person. I'll live stream their live stream. So you're too busy to go in person, but you're not busy enough to live stream the event from your house? Does that even make sense to anybody? You can't cancel your show talking about Charlie Kirk's death to go to Turning Point to ask them about Charlie Kirk's death because you're too busy doing your show. This is why crazy bitches, they make the whole world crazy. They make you sound crazy. They make you go crazy. Anyways.
Well, that's sneaky. To be quite honest, I was like, no lies detected, guys. Okay? No lies detected minus the B word over there. We don't want to call people the B word. But the principle of what he's saying, is he right? Is he lying? Is he lying? So it's just like, Candace, like, this is not even good for you. Where you have, you have like Nick Fuentes, who's actually saying some sensible things in this situation. What else do you need? What else do you need? So that's how you know that this lady, whatever she's up to, she was never pursuing truth. It was never about truth. That's why she's in this situation. So now she's whipping up her fans. So they're looking at Turning Point USA like, oh no, Candace, you cannot go there. These people were not able to protect, they were not able to protect Charlie. You know what I mean? They're not going to protect you. Because according to her, there has been a threat to her life. Okay? I just like, okay, she hasn't filed any police report. So that's what she said. Okay? But Candace, even though Israel and France, President Macron, Prime Minister Macron, is it Prime Minister? Macron is in cahoots with Israelis coming after Candace. They've hired assassins, paid them $1.5 million, okay? But here she is at a party, okay, at a Christmas party. So, but people are coming after your life, lady. What are you doing in these venues? Everybody knows that you're at this place. If you know that somebody is coming after your life, are you going to be spending time all over the place, or are you just going to hunker down? I don't know. I'm confused. Like, okay, if somebody is coming after your life, I think you want to stay put instead of being all over the place. But what can we say? This is Lady Candy, right? She can do whatever else she wants to do. So somebody associated with Charlie Kirk family is speaking out. And this is what they had to say as far as the views of Charlie Kirk when it came to Candace Owens, okay? So, hey, man, at this point, Charlie Kirk, I'm sure, if he was alive, he'll be regretting the thorn that Candace is for his family. Watch this, okay?
My sources from Charlie's family told me that Charlie, and I'm relaying a message from family, he did not agree with who Candace had become in the last 2 or 3 years. He was respectful of her because it wasn't in his nature to attack a friend, but he absolutely did not agree with where she was going. And I know that there are members of his family who really resent the way she's degrading his legacy.
So the audacity of this woman, who the hell owes you anything? Were you Charlie Kirk's keeper? I mentioned that she's very self-entitled. So in her response today on her show to Turning Point and Blake, she says basically, well, finally, thank you. This is what you could have just done this months ago, and then I wouldn't have had to have done all these programs, and I wouldn't have had to call you out and stuff. I mean, we could have done this anytime. And I just think to myself, the audacity of this woman, who the hell owes you anything? Were you Charlie Kirk's keeper? Were you, other than being a has-been associate of his and someone that, frankly, in my opinion, he was basically just trying to keep this crazy nut in his corner so that she didn't turn against Turning Point? Charlie Kirk, I think, was a smooth operator. And I don't say that to denigrate him, but his bio has been rewritten by people who have now tried to turn him into some kind of a saint. The guy was also a smooth operator, and I think that he was trying to kind of keep he was keeping kind of Candace sort of in this corner in a way, and telling her perhaps things that he thought she wanted to hear about, I'll bring you back into the fold one day or whatever. I don't know. But I do not think that they were best buddies. And I think that everybody, you know this too, almost everyone in Candace's past, at some point, they learned that you have to be wary of her. And that's why when you look at her past, her professional paths, you see generally a lot of broken relationships and a lot of partnerships that didn't work out. And she's changed her ideological perspective dramatically over the years from when she was doing the leftist thing with social autopsy. So anyway, I don't think anyone owes her anything. And the idea that Turning Point should have given her evidence or should have disclosed their financial books to her why?
The entitlement is insane. First of all, she counts on her audience not knowing anything. And I know Kelly's in the chat. And if Kelly, if you want to speak up and add anything, I would love to have you. I'll read it out loud and I'll interrupt what we're doing. But if she counts on her audience not knowing anything about like trials, legal things, so everything's about her. Why haven't they given me this? And I'm explaining it. Kelly says, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Yes. So I feel like my sources from Charlie's family told me that Charlie, that was his mantra. Keep your enemies closer. He was class act. He did not agree with, this is what I've been told. And I'm relaying a message from family. He did not agree with who Candace had become in the last 2 or 3 years. He was respectful of her because it wasn't in his nature to attack a friend, but he absolutely did not agree with where she was going. And I know that there are members of his family who really resent the way she's degrading his legacy.
Well, she is degrading.
Yeah, so personally, I do think that Turning Point USA, they took too long to respond to Candace. Okay? They took too long to respond because right now, Charlie Kirk's show has tanked. Okay? The viewership, the numbers are not there. And yes, that can happen because Charlie is no longer here, but you have actually people who have migrated from Charlie to Candace. Okay? And whenever Candace has a live, she has almost 200,000 people watching live show. By the day, it's in millions. You know what I mean? So the numbers of Charlie, even on Spotify and everything, the numbers are not there. And even when these people tweet something on their platform, the Candy minions are there to just outright supporting Candace. You see what I'm saying? So, in other words, they're buying into the conspiracy theories that Candace is telling them, okay? Not only that, they're demanding, they donated to TPUSA, which means they did support TPUSA, but now they're demanding they want their money back because Candace has sent them, go get your money back, okay? And Candace is calling TPUSA God-forsaking organization. So, and Candace, she has massed a lot of followers. She's getting the views. She's getting the bag. Everything is going well for her, financially speaking, and things are going the other direction with TPUSA as far as their online platform. They're still big in terms of them doing the events, the TPUSA organizations that, they still have that, right? But the public opinion, okay, they are losing war on the public opinion on the public front because this is the social media age. If people say something for your organization, you don't have the luxury of, we're just going to ignore it. That's not how things work, guys. Okay? That's just not how things work. This lady has been on this crusade since September. Turning Point USA are responding to Candace Owens in December. Like, that's too late. As far as the social media time frame is concerned, that's too late. The damage has already been done. Candace has captivated the people. She has whipped up people into the frenzy. She's a card reader right now, to be quite honest. Okay? And that's how these people are behaving. So, whatever Turning Point USA is saying, Candace Owens just comes back and just reverse psychology her audience and whatever else they're saying, and they just keep moving. They are not interested with the truth because Candace Owens was never pursuing the truth, guys. Because if she was serious, like we discussed, right, she would have gone to TPUSA and called these guys in their faces. You did this, you did this, you did this. Here's my evidence. She would have shut the whole thing down. But she's not going to do that. And do you think she's going to stop her investigation? No. The man is coming in right now, guys. So she's not going to stop. So, and also I do think the best person to have come out in front of all this is Erica Kirk. Why? She is the CEO of Turning Point USA. So she'll be speaking on behalf of her organization. And she is the widow of Charlie Kirk. She'll be speaking on behalf of her husband. And nobody can go talk to her with her. Because she can come in to say, stop talking about my husband. That's it. Because if she said that, even her minions will be like, hey, what you going to do? You know what I mean? The wife is come out, but she's not saying anything. That's not good. This is not the time of to be like, oh, okay, whatever. People, she's mourning and everything. It's September. She's done public events. She has spoken publicly. This woman is dragging your organization down. This woman is dragging your husband down. Where are you? Candace came out to give out information that, she was giving Charlie some information what to wear when Charlie was dating other girls. Of course, this was before Erica Kirk was in the picture, right? But that's so disrespectful of Candace Owens. The audacity of be talking about Charlie Kirk's ex-girlfriends. What's the point of that? So to me, I think they need to come out. So watch this, because one of their followers asked the same questions, okay? So take a look at this. So I think this person is a Turning Point USA supporter, okay? Watch what she said.
Has to do live streams all, and she's saying she can't attend in person. Can she attend on a live stream, or and you guys do live streams all the time, and is that going to be an
Of course,
option?
Gina.
I'm just trying to make this come together.
Of course, Gina. So first of all, our initial statement, it was on the show on Wednesday. I made it at the request of Erica. All of this has been at the direction and approval of Erica because she heads this. And so what we were announcing there is we said she has said things that are not true, and we did not address them for a long time. We stated the reasons why, that we thought a lot of them were just not, how to put it, we initially just thought no one would believe a lot of what was being said. And we also just, we remembered the same friendship that Charlie had, and we just hoped that this would go away without requiring any sort of direct statement or confrontation from us. So what was approved is we announced we are going to respond to this. And what I said was we are going to announce a date soon. We actually hadn't agreed on it at the time I read the statement. We're going to announce a date where we're going to respond to this. And once we announce it, Candace is free to attend in person. That is what we announced. And so once we agreed on a time, I announced what the time was going to be. Candace, for her part, had said, you name the time, you name the place. That is what we did. As for why it was put out at that time, I would just say I don't think she had any difficulty in finding out what our scheduled time was. It seems everyone found it out quite quickly. And lastly, on the point of why it's in person, I think it's pretty intuitive that given what is being said, the way this has worked is that it's critical to be in person if you want to be authentic and to be detailed. And that is what we think is a fair request to make if she's going to participate. But regardless, it is going to go forward because we have agreed that some response needs to be made. And so that's going to happen when we announced it on December 15th.
Yeah, so honestly, this wasn't a good answer that Blake gave to this lady. And Andrew Covid, he is a spokesperson. I'm sorry, guys. Every time he has spoken to me, I'm like, I could do better. Okay. They don't know how to speak to, how do I say, the way they're communicating this situation, they're not communicating right. And Candace is just driving through their hose. You know what I'm saying? Just say it simple and straightforward. Okay. Oh, we want her, like, if she's in person, it's gonna be authentic and everything. Don't go there. Okay. Just say it. She challenged us. We want to be able to face her face to face. So we want it to be in person. We don't want it to be online. We want to look her in the eye, and we want her to accuse us to our face. So that's it. Just do it that way. Like, no, I want to be able to look her into the eye, and so we can believe whatever she's saying, right? Because she has accused us. They have a right to face her face to face. You don't have to wonder about it. If she doesn't want to show up, that's on her. But at least these people have they have accepted the challenge. And clearly, Candace knows. She, it's not going to go well with her even if she goes there. Because it's just all smoke. She's behind the camera. She can say whatever she says. But when she's in the room facing all these guys, oh, you said this, you said this, you said this. What is she going to do? She's not going to be able to survive that. She knows. That's why she's doing that. So why would you give her an outing? Like you need to pin Candace Owens down, okay? Like do not give her any quarter at all, okay? Because she will, she has already taken advantage with all this thing. So yeah, no, okay. Proverbs 21:6. The getting of treasures by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor and the snare of death. So we already know how much this lady money. Okay, Proverbs 6:16. There are 6 things the Lord hates, 7 that are abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and the hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deceives wicked plans, a feet that makes haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. That's Candace Owens for you guys. Okay? There's just no two ways about it. This is Candace Owens, no two ways about it. So now that she knows that people are saying all these things about her, she, watch this. I was just like, man, Candace, go home. Lady Candace, I need to have that one. Oh, Magmoo from the swing state. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. They don't need her in person. They have her videos. No, I think like facing her face to face, because the show is gonna go on with or without her. So I guess they're just gonna play the clips and just say their piece. But the issue, Candace, the onus is on Candace to produce the evidence. And so far, she hasn't done that. So this is where things are at. Okay, what did she say on this clip? This is a short clip. Let's see.
Let me see if I can make that work. Even if I could have made it work, which I couldn't have, because my husband instantly said, no, you cannot do this Monday. And he runs the household, and he has an important thing going on that day, which involves people that are coming in from overseas. But even if I could have made that work, I would not have within 24 hours have confirmed to them if they had even sent me an email, because I have kids. I would have had organized things, and it would have just taken longer than 24 hours. And they knew that. What Blake did say, let me see if I can.
Oh, now George Farmer is running the household? George, where you at, man? Sorry, Candace. Okay. If George Farmer was running the household, you wouldn't be in this situation, okay? So stop lying to us. We know that's not what's happening over there. That we can clearly see. We are not blind. Even Steve Wonder can see this. No. She said George Farmer says no, she cannot go on the 15th because he has so much stuff going on. And yet, Candace said she is going to live stream when these guys on the 15th are live streaming. So she's able to do that, but George Farmer says, no, she's not available on that day. Okay, they have guests coming from outside the country. No problem. The 15th is out of the question. Can you give us the day that you are available? Can you say the day that you're available? The 15th is out of the question. Which day is available? Where was George Farmer when you're saying publicly, anywhere, anytime, any place? Was he running the household then? This lady, guys, I just like, what? Sorry, Candace. You need to zip it. You need to zip it. Okay, let's watch a little bit more of her.
Just encouraging us to keep going. Today feels like a win because guess what? It forced Turning Point USA to finally respond. And that was the entire point, okay? That has been the point of refusing to let up even 1 second in this investigation. They wanted to simply be able to eulogize Charlie Kirk at a big memorial event, and then they wanted us to simply move on. And we didn't do that, okay? So yeah, we should celebrate the fact that we kept up the pressure, that we insisted that we have answers, that even in this tremendous culture of ADHD and everyone's constantly being distracted by their iPhones, that we kept the focus, okay? Turning Point is going to commit to a live streamed event where they are apparently going to answer all of these lingering questions. And I would say these were pretty basic questions right out of the gate. Why they didn't do that right out of the gate, nobody knows. We can hear them, their explanation for why they didn't in just a moment, because they sent Blake Neff out. Blake Neff, by the way, is the producer of the Charlie Kirk show. Now he is kind of the rotating talent of the Charlie Kirk show. He was already featured with Charlie on the show, so that's not unusual. But I think we probably anticipated that Andrew Colvett, who is the TPUSA spokesperson, would have been the person to deliver this message. Maybe in theory, that should have been his job. Maybe he's traveling. The point is, we got Blake Neff, and I want to say, just to reiterate, that I have always maintained that whatever is going on at Turning Point USA, I have not felt that Blake Neff is one of the bad guys, okay? I just have never gotten that particular vibe from him. I believe that when he speaks, he believes that he is telling the truth. And maybe that's why they want him in front of the camera. He's been the only person that has been responding in a way that feels even remotely authentic when he defends the actions of Mikey McCoy on that day. I sense that he believes that he is telling the truth. Anyways, let's listen to what Blake...
So if that is the case, Candace, according to your own mouth, Blake, he's one of the good guys at TPUSA. Doesn't that make even sense for you to go and actually face him and be able to have this discussion? After all, he's one of the good guys, right? According to her. So that's how you know this lady, she's just like, man. Man, I don't know what TPUSA is going to do, but their hands are full. Okay? Their hands are full with this lady. Because I don't think that she's going to stop. She's not going to stop. She's going to continue doing this, okay? And we'll see how the program is going to go. I still believe that the only person who can put an end to this is Erica Kirk. And if Erica Kirk doesn't want to say something about it, sooner or later she still has to. Otherwise, no, this is not going well for Turning Point USA. Numbers-wise, they are losing, okay? PR front, they are losing. It's not good for the organization. Candace Owens, her goal, if she wasn't going to have Turning Point USA, nobody else wasn't going to have it. So she's willing to burn it all to the ground, and she said as much. And she is succeeding on that front, to be quite honest with you guys. And Turning Point also having Tucker Carlson, right? Tucker Carlson is still going to speak at what America Fest, whatever they have going on. And Tucker Carlson is good friends with Candace Owens. Tucker Carlson is all this other stuff that he's doing. They need to decide. Either they're going to keep this big tent issue. That's why they're in this situation, okay? For the sake of this big tent. You bring on all these people. I guess it was Charlie Kirk who was able to hold them all together in one tent. Charlie Kirk is gone. So they need to pick a lane where they're going to be in and stick to that issue for better or for worse. All this excess baggage that they are having is not good for them. If I were them, Tucker Carlson will be gone. Andrew Covid would be gone. Okay, Andrew Covid will be gone because it was his text messages that showed up on Candace Owens. Okay, so why were you leaking out text messages privately? So for that reason, to me, Andrew Covid will be gone. Okay, Tucker Carlson will be gone. So those are the things that I would actually do if I was there. And then just make it clear, Erica Kirk is in charge and she needs to be in front of all these other things that are happening. If she cannot handle it, she needs to step down and hire somebody else who can take care of business. Because we are in the information age, guys. Candace Owens, the stuff that she's saying. Because, you guys understand. You think critically. You're just like, you know what? It's whatever. But Candace has millions of followers, okay? She has an international audience. People are drinking her Kool-Aid. And people are leaving TPUSA. They are following her. They are following her. So it is actually financially damaging TPUSA on their social media platform. All of them. Candace is dominating. Why? All these other stuff that she's saying. The only person who can put an end to this issue is Erica Kirk. If Erica Kirk wants TPUSA to be there when her kids grow up, she needs to come out full force and hard swinging with this lady. Otherwise, she's taking this organization down, if you ask me. Okay? People don't have the time to be, whatever Candace said, it was debunked. Right now, she's riding high. Right now, she's telling these people, I have accepted that I was going to appear there virtually. These guys, they don't want me to appear virtually. Those people concluded, so what are they hiding? Because people don't think. Okay? Candace Owens followers, they don't care about that. They're not going to think like that. They're out in full force defending Candace Owens. So like we say right now, if Nick Fuentes, we are being forced to agree with Nick Fuentes out here, that should tell you a lot of things. But this is Lady Candy, guys. So she came out with all this stuff that everybody else was responding. Okay, and she said some things over here. All right, you guys, I'm so glad that you guys are here. Okay. And yeah, now all of a sudden, George gets me. I know, I said, and she says, George runs the household. Which George, Candace? If George was running the household, you shouldn't have done all these videos, busy fighting for someone else's husband. Come on now. So we know, no, that's not what's happening over there. George, come get your wife. George needs to come get Candy. Lady Candy going out here. Okay, so this is how.
Right. And I will add on to this that I certainly myself am compelled I would say that it's an interesting twist in this debate story, if we're even calling it a debate offer. At least I was surprised. I was legitimately surprised to hear this morning that it was apparently Erica Kirk who called for TPUSA to formally respond to the mounting questions and to set the live stream. At least that's what Blake Neff is saying on the Charlie Kirk show. They received this morning phone calls from the viewers at home. And of course, somebody asked about the nature of how they went about trying to get me onto this live stream. Let's take a listen to that question being asked, I think from a woman named Gina. Let's take a listen.
Let's take Gina.
I wonder if Gina was a plant. Okay, we already listened to Gina. Okay, so we can forward her so we can hear what she say. Because Erica's name now is popping. Okay. Yeah, their response wasn't good, to be honest.
It doesn't come naturally to him. He's extremely condescending. His obvious, how do I say this? We're shocked that you guys believe Candace. We're just very shocked, you dummies. And his excuse is that the reason he did this in the middle of the night on X is that it's to be expected, as if that's some sort of normal etiquette. Once you extend an offer, not only do you extend an offer, you say that it's a sincere offer. He used the word sincere. And when she is trying to get around to, hey, like, why does this need to be in person? Just to be clear, Blake is saying the answer to that is, quote unquote, it's intuitive that it is critical to be in person if you want to be authentic. Let me just run that sentence again because I consider myself to be pretty intuitive. I am intuiting right now that that is absolute bullcrap. He says, quote, it's intuitive that it is critical to be in person if you want to be authentic. Yeah, they think you're stupid. They just think you're absolutely an idiot. And he says that that's fair. What are you talking about? My most contentious and my most viral debates have never been in person. Everyone assumes that when you extend an invite, that you're gonna do whatever you can to make it happen, whether it's friendly, whether it's not friendly. When you come out and you say that you are live streaming, the assumption is that you are live streaming because you want the internet to be able to attend, right? That's the whole purpose and function of live streaming an event, is that.
No, Candace. Okay, so she's very good at acting dumb. The issue was the event is going to be live streamed so people can see. Candace needs to be there in person. Blake, the response was not a good response that I grant. You just said like, no, she has put bold claims, okay, big accusations. We want to be able to look her in the eye. We want her to be in person. We want this to be done face to face. We want to look her in the eye and confront her. That does not work well online. Not only that, she has producers, okay? We don't want any third party whispering in Candace Owens' ears. She's the one who made the accusations. We want to be able to face her without anybody whispering things in her ear. Just say it like that. That's it. That's why we don't want it to be online. End of the story. What's she going to do? She has Skylar in her ear all the time. She's not going to debunk that. So, like TPUSA, I can do the job for you guys. You don't have to pay me. You need just to respond, okay? Oh, yes, Sandy, this lady needs to go home. This lady needs to go home. She's out here for months fighting for someone else's husband. So, yes, she definitely needs to go home.
It invites everybody to be able to attend. So when you extend an invitation of live streaming and you don't explicitly say it must be in person, why would I assume that you're going to rescind the offer if I say that I can appear via live stream? Okay. They never said that when they made the offer and they were pretending that they were being sincere. They never made in person a point of their demands. They never also said that I had to respond within 24 hours. That's a hostage situation. Okay. There's no way that I could have accommodated all of that in a million years, 24 hours to respond. How about, let me see if I can make that work. Even if I could have made it work, which I couldn't have because my husband instantly said, no, you cannot do this Monday. And he runs the household and he has an important thing going on that day, which involves people that are coming in from overseas. But even if I could have made that work, I would not have within 24 hours have confirmed to them if they had even sent me an email because I have kids. I would have had organized things and it would have just taken longer than 24 hours. And they knew that. What Blake did say verbatim on that day is, quote, here is what is going to happen. In the near future, there will be a live stream here in Phoenix. So we're assuming they're live streaming from Phoenix, where we address in a clear and comprehensive way the claims and the accusations, the false accusations that have been made against Charlie's family, friends, and the people here at Turning Point. We plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio in Phoenix. not a demand to be there in person.
Live stream at our studio in Phoenix, Candace. Live stream at our studio in Phoenix, Candace. Okay? Stop playing games. Stop playing games. You said it. Anywhere, anytime, any place. So you need to figure it out, the stuff that's coming out of your mouth. Okay? That's not us. That's you. You said it. Okay? It's you on tape. That's Lady Candace. That's on tape. Okay? Yes.
If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio here in Phoenix. At this point, we believe the ball is back in her court.
So I accept it with whistles and bells, everything. I fully accept. You can pick the place. You can pick the time. At 4 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. local time on Monday, December 15th from Charlie's Phoenix studio, our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, you can pick the place. You can pick the time. Obviously, leading up to Christmas, that's the last week of our show.
You see how this woman lies. And this was within 24 hours, by the way. Okay? So you cannot take her serious. If what she was doing was not damaging to TPUSA, I would just say, you know what, you guys keep it moving, just ignore her. But she is damaging the organization big time. So I don't understand for their reasoning. They didn't say, they decided they're just going to keep quiet, weather the storm. I mean, I don't know. I've been saying this from the get-go that they should have said something about it. I don't understand how they can arrive to that decision that they were going to keep quiet. Like, Candace wasn't stopping. Candace is not going anywhere. This issue is damaging you guys. The numbers are not backing you guys. Why would you keep quiet about it and expect it's just going to disappear on its own? I just like, plus, remember the trial, right? It's going to take time for the trial to start, to finish, for somebody else to be convicted. So what are you guys doing? Meantime, you are losing the information or you are losing the battle. Because this is what happens. It's the same thing that happened to, like the war between Gaza and Israel, right? The Israelis, they were not putting out the information. And the Hamas people were taking advantage of online. They're showing pictures, you know what I mean? AI-generated pictures of children who were killed in Syria. And they were putting that, and it was tagging along to people's heartstrings. By the time they started coming out, Israel had already lost the battle. That's why now you have a lot of young people who no longer support Israel. Not because of true information, but because of the things that were fed to them on social media. You see what I'm saying? And not even understanding, like, okay, this is an urban warfare. This is how it works. Do you know what these people do? These people use their own people as human shield. That's a fact. They have their military operations in schools, in hospitals. If you do that, that's a legitimate target under Geneva War Convention. You know what I mean? So you can actually destroy that building. So they are not responsible if you had human beings over there. But it's just things like this. But they took too long. To them, they were like, oh, we're just going to leave it alone. No. By the time they started talking about it, the cat was already out of the bag. TPUSA responding to Candace Owens in December, guys, are just like, this is not good. Okay? This is not good at all. You need to come out and swinging. If you have to debunk things, you got to debunk things. But if you want things to, to keep carrying on, this is what happens. So, yeah. Yes, for 3 months she's been doing this. So it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's see a little bit from Nick Fuentes. He said some good things. I'm like, you know what, Nick, you're actually correct.
Live streaming from Charlie's Phoenix studio, our offer from yesterday holds. If Candace wishes to join us in person in Phoenix, she is welcome to do so. She can let us know by the end of the day. Beautiful. Perfect. If I'm Candace Owens, I am jumping on a private jet and I'm there. She's got that kind of money. Her husband's loaded. She makes millions of dollars from her YouTube channel. You know how loaded her family is? Her father-in-law is this loaded commodities trader. He's one of the biggest donors for the Conservative Party in the United Kingdom. And Candace has donors too, like John Mappin, or is it John? I know that John Mappin would pay for her private flight. The Scientologist that introduced her to her husband, George Farmer. John Mappin, the Scientologist who descends from the family that makes the jewels for the British crown. John Mappin, the man that takes credit for introducing her and her husband at Turning Point UK, the organization that he funded, that launched an event that he hosted. I'm sure that Mappin would love to pay for that flight. He's been writing letters about her, writing Substack posts, and she's been retweeting him. He would pay for the private jet. She could literally take a private jet armed to the teeth with a private security force, and she could arrange that. It's in 10 days. This was her response. She says, quote, "Kind of weird how you didn't email or call me to ask about times or availability and chose to instead tweet this confirmation out at midnight." Really? Why am I learning about this on X? Why am I learning about this? I love the Karen tone. She's such a bitch. It's unbelievable. It's not why did you do this? It's why am I learning about this on X? She reminds me of every bitchy mom in my Midwestern town. Every one of those snooty, why am I learning about this on X? She says. December 15th does not work in person. And 2 p.m. is also the literal time I do my podcast every day, which you knew. But we will happily cancel the daily podcast and join you guys virtually instead for the live stream on the 15th. If that works on your end, let's lock it in. And I love, this is the Candace Owens MO. It's to find things that are completely arbitrary and then just vaguely insinuate that there's something conspiratorial. So she says, kind of weird how you didn't email or call me to ask about times. What's weird about that? Didn't you say on your show, on your own show, name the time, name the place, we don't need to plan it, we don't need lawyers, just say it? And so they go on Twitter and say, well, this is when we're doing the live stream and you're welcome to join us. And she goes, kind of weird. Not weird. No, it's kind of weird. I'm sorry, what's weird about that? You think they're going to send you an email after you accuse them of killing their boss? And you said yourself you're not going to go through lawyers, so how exactly did you want it? Did you want it carried by a messenger pigeon? She goes, why am I finding out about this on X? This is really weird. Why didn't you call me? Call you? You're telling them that they killed their boss. You think they're going to say, hey, Candace, hi, hope you're doing well. So we're thinking of doing this live stream defending ourselves from the allegation that we're working with France and Israel to kill our own boss and friend that you're telling millions of people with no evidence. Well, when did you want to do that? What works for, how do you think that's going to go? She goes, why am I learning about it on X? Then she says, you chose to tweet this confirmation out at midnight. Again, okay, so what? When were they supposed to tweet it out? During business hours? You're only supposed to respond to these things during business hours. You know, it's the 21st century. People are up at midnight. We're on social media. You're up at midnight. I mean, what are you talking about? Isn't it weird that they posted it on Twitter and at midnight? No, not really. What, is that part of the French connection too? It's like with the text messages on Discord. El Reeve is pressing her saying, how do you know the text messages are fake? And she goes, they don't have any timestamps. Okay, so? El Reeve said, do you have any evidence they're fake? She goes, no. Okay. Then she goes and says, it doesn't work in person. Okay, why not? Genuinely, what excuse do you have? Anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. Suffice to say, she says, I can't make it in person, but let's do a stream. So Blake responds. He says, yesterday we made it clear that we would be scheduling a
Oh my God. Yeah, I thought, I was just laughing. His reaction, even, it was quite entertaining. It was quite entertaining. It was even quite entertaining, even for Nick. I know. Yes, I was just laughing too as well. Yeah. I'm like, yes, Nick, you're correct. You're correct. Quite entertaining. Yeah, so all in all, there's no, even if you're in Candace Owens camp, right? This is what you've been looking for. You have the opportunity to face these people face to face. You should make that happen. If the 15th is not, does not work, then just tell them the day that works. Okay, communicate to them. The 15th, it doesn't work, but this day is what works, and see what happens. But that's not what she's doing. So who knows how this is going to go down, but I don't know what they I don't know. I think they're still, the only way, they need to compile all the stuff that she has said, and then they need to respond to those things and just let the chips fall where they may. But you see, if they had done this right then and then in September, they wouldn't have had so much material to go through. You see what I'm saying? They would have stopped it right there and then in her tracks to say, this is what you said, this is not true, this is not true, this is not true. Erica comes out in full force because everybody was on Erica's side at that time. You know, she's a widow and everything. Come out, please. You know, stop mentioning my husband's name. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, you know, zip it when it comes to my husband. You know what I mean? She didn't marry you. He didn't marry you. He married me. Leave it alone. You see what I'm saying? And Candace had said, like, she's not going to stop. The only person who can tell her to stop is Erica Kirk. So she could have just done, thank you for, you know, now, and just play that. You said I'm the only person who can stop you from this investigation. Now I'm officially telling you to stop it. That's it. That's what she could have done. And all this, I think she could have stopped. But the fact that she didn't do all that, and yet she's a CEO, and that's her husband, Turning Point, they've lost the PR war, they've lost on the information wing, all because of one person with her lies. Yeah, so, you know, I guess, you know, it's I don't know, better late than never, but 3 months responding to viral videos that she's been putting out for months. I don't know, guys. Personally, it's a little too late, if you ask me. The only, at this point, because it's been this late, I don't think it even helps for Charlie Kirk friends to be responding. Erica Kirk should have just come out and just be like, you know what? I stand by Blake Neff because my husband stands by him, XYZ. I'm in charge of CEO. You know what I mean? You're going to put some respect on my name, Candace. You're going to put some respect on my organization and don't let my husband's name come out of your mouth. You know, Erica just needs to go there. If she does it, I'm sorry. This lady, woo. This lady, no, I'm telling you. So I don't know whose advice. And also, this is also the problem. Tucker Carlson is good friends with these guys, okay? And Tucker Carlson is also good friends with who? With Candace Owens. Not even one time has Tucker Carlson denounced what Candace Owens is doing. Meghan Kelly, same things. And yet these are the people who have VIP when it comes to Turning Point USA. So you guys, you're friends with Turning Point USA, with Erica and whatever. Candace is doing these things to damage this organization. And you guys don't say anything about it? Whose team are you on? Because she needs to know who is on her side and who's not. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, this social media loyalty is everything. If people are coming, speaking on your platform, you're cutting checks for them to speak on your platform. And they are buddy with people who are trying to destroy the very same platform. Who benefits when Turning Point goes to wayside? All those people, do you know where they're going to land? They're going to go to Tucker Carlson. They're going to go to Meghan Kelly. They're going to go, there's already exodus happening and people are already going to Candace Owens. So these guys, they need to open their eyes, okay? Open your eyes and look around you. So to me, they need some changes over there. Now, if they have to, they need to hire, I don't know, they need to bring Olivia Pope over there or something, you know? So they need big time, real damage control for their PR front. Whatever they have right now, it's not working. Okay? Andrew Covid is the spokesperson of Turning Point USA. I don't remember the last time that he said, like, the other time he couldn't say something over there defending these young Republicans. They got in trouble saying some stuff, and he couldn't denounce that issue. Now, your text message, your screenshot ends up with Candace Owens. The lady is calling, asking, why should it be in person? You guys cannot answer that question? Like, why shouldn't it not be on a live stream? You're failing to answer that question? And you're a spokesperson of Turning Point USA? I just like, what are we doing? You know? What are we doing? Like, no, she demanded. She put the ball in our court. She demanded us. So we are demanding to face her face to face. Because we do not trust her when she's in her studio. Okay? We want to be able to look her in the eye and see her. Okay? For all we know, that's not Candace Owens. That's the AI-generated Candace Owens. We want to be able to see her. Okay, she didn't come. And then she said, oh, no, she travels with her team. Her husband is her team and everything. Candace, nobody cares about that. Okay? Last I checked, it wasn't George Farmer who was making those accusations. It was you. So you need to show up. She needs to show up. Yeah, she needs to show up. All right, guys. You guys are simply the best. Are simply the best. So nice singing. Espa, thank you for being here. Lady Sanders, just like, I'm not familiar with this woman, but I can conclude she needs to go home. Yes, she needs to go home for sure, for sure. I need to get that clip from J-Mark, go home. I need to get that one. Yes, Saint Mig, good to see you. Yeah, they don't need her in person. They never have videos. Like, we need her in person. That'll be be good. Mark Moore, thank you for being here. All right, guys, I do appreciate your viewership. You guys are simply the best. Exactly, that one is for you guys. Yes, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here on your way out. Please like this live stream and let's continue this conversation in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. And if you're a subscriber, double check to make sure you're a subscriber and hit that bell. That way you never miss a show. Okay? That way you're always here every time we show up. But nevertheless, stay tuned. More coming this week. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Until next time, remember, theology matters. Thank you.